Good evening. It's Journey, your fix-it man. Gonna cover a little something that I haven't seen anybody else cover regarding microwave oven magnetrons here. I'm currently working on a couple right now. The one I had come in the door had a bad diode shorted. This particular diode is out of another oven that came in my door a long time ago, and I put a new magnetron in it because it was sparking like you put a DVD or a CD in it. And the reason for that was because of this. You can see a major hole burnt in the side of this magnetron. This is the one that was in the sparking microwave oven. So you can see that. And if I remember correctly, when I test this thing the correct way, it tests good. There's continuity between these two pins, which is correct. And then when you test for any resistance between this pin to chassis or that pin to chassis, you should get an open, an open loop or an open reading. Zero resistance, even at really super high, 2,000 meg or 2,000 kilo ohms. No, 2,000 mega ohms resistance setting, the highest my meter will do. So I'm gonna do something really quick here. I'm gonna pause this for a moment. Okay, I'm back here. As you can see, I have one lead connected to one multimeter lead connected to one of the magnetron leads, and the other one to chassis ground. And as you can see over there, we have open loop on the highest setting at 2,000 mega ohms. Now I'm going to reverse this, and we'll put this one here and that one there. We switch those around, red to chassis, black to the other lead, and we're looking at the meter climbing slowly, and I'm gonna guess it's gonna go all the way to open loop here. Now this magnetron obviously has definitely had a problem, because you could see the obvious damage to the aperture. So yeah, so basically this puppy tests good. Okay, well, I'm gonna show you something nobody else has ever shown you before in my months and years, well, actually it's now years now, of fixing microwave ovens, is that nobody has pointed out that, you see those things in there? They're called ferrite cores, okay? And they are part of the magnetron. Some of them, I've seen some that only have one, some have two. Maybe I've mistaken, maybe they all have two, I don't know. But here's the problem with this magnetron, and I will show you right now. You can see that in the light. You see that big giant crack there? Well, that thing is busted. And I've seen two of these now, which is interesting, because when you first look at them, give me a second, I'll put this down for just a moment. Okay, when you first look at them, sometimes they look like this. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it, does there, right? But you can definitely see a crack there. And sometimes when they do crack and you first, pop them out and you look at them, the crack is Yeah, it's barely noticeable unless you're looking under. You got really good eyes, or you're looking under high magnification. Um, you might not see that right at first, and when I first started looking at these things, I didn't really know much about them, other than the fact that, the super basic, function of the damn thing. It would basically is to, translate a low DC voltage into a high DC voltage, and then run it down a waveguide or whatever to zap some food in the oven. But as you can see, at this particular angle, you can barely see that little crack. And because these things are magnetic, when they do crack, they hold together, very well. And the only way you can tell is by, pulling it apart or, pushing it apart. There you go. I just pushed it apart. So there's a crack. And there you probably, there's probably, yeah, there you go. There's one on the other side. Okay, so I have not seen to date so far anybody dealing with this issue with magnetrons. So I thought I'd, make a short little video here and post this on my YouTube page. And, hope this helps for some people, because you can test the damn thing all you want and it'll test good. But that magnetron ain't going to work because the magnetic field is broken. The magnetic lines are broken. Broken. Because of the ferrite cores around, the ferrite rings around that core. So I hope this helps, some people troubleshooting their microwave issues, First things you look at, obviously, are the electrical readings on this magnetron, as I demonstrated earlier. Measurements. Oh well, I actually didn't demonstrate the continuity between these two pins. So you're going to get zero resistance between those two pins. That's normal. That's good. But any resistance from here to there, or here to there, or here, whatever, same thing, right? It's all the chassis. You got a problem. But then the other thing, again, there you go. Broken ferrite, magnet core, or ferrite ring. So I've never seen anybody post anything about this. And this is another thing that can cause the thing to go. The other thing, of course, is the high voltage diode. Either goes short, either goes open. And other than that, main transformer's gone, open. Sometimes they have a thermal fuse in it. That'll go. The main fuse for the AC, so I've seen, one microwave come here a couple days ago, and it was just a blown fuse. Replace the 20 amp, 250 volt or 125 volt fuse, main fuse for the AC. Done deal, fixed. Other than that, that's good for this one, and I'll be posting this on my YouTube channel. Sorry about the cigarette there. I'm trying to get this in frame here. Fix my hair. Anyways, here we go. Journey back here, Mr. Fix-It Guy. And one little quick addendum to the video I'm about to post, or will post, on my YouTube channel, is that the magnetron that had the burnt out spout on it, the little, what do you call it, aperture, that had a burnt hole in it on the side, and then of course the what do you call it, the magnetic ferrite rings had cracked, and that was the reason that magnetron was not functioning properly, wasn't heating, It also was sparking like you put a DVD or a CD in the oven. And when I put a known good magnetron in it, it still did not function. It was still not heating. So I took that magnetron out again and retested it. It tests good. Nothing wrong with it as far as I can tell. Took the diode out, tested that, and it looks good. Blocking voltage one way, passing it another, so that is a determination that that diode is good. And I used rather than a 9-volt battery, I decided, well, these diodes actually have a forward, what do you call it, a forward voltage drop of actually 14 volts. So I'm kind of questioning some of these guys that are using 9-volt batteries to test these diodes when the forward voltage drop is 14 volts and you're trying to test it with a 9-volt battery. Well, obviously, from the videos I've seen so far, it works. But I decided to use my Variac, and I've got a little, rectifier set up with a really big, nasty filter capacitor, so I get a good solid DC voltage out of that thing, and I applied 15 and a half volts to these diodes to make damn good and sure it's forward biased. When you look up in the data sheets, it can be anywhere from 12 to 15 volts. Minimum, maximum kind of thing, right? So anyways, I just thought I'd, add that little tidbit there. I'm still working on that microwave oven to figure out why the hell I put a new, a new tested working good magnetron, and I checked it very well for, cracks and breaks on the ferrite rings, and I could not find any. Even by, don't go by sight, because if your eyesight's not so good, or you're not looking at it under high magnification, or if the cracks are on the sides, where on the edges, like you can look through one side and not see anything there. You can turn it around and look at the other side, but if the crack is on the sides, you're not going to see it, especially if it's still magnetically pulled together, because they are extremely powerfully magnetic. These ferrite cores are quite quite attractive, and it takes a lot to pull them apart. If there's a crack in it, it takes quite a bit to to pull it apart and actually see that there's definitely a break there. So anyways, I thought I'd just add this real quick, and yeah, so keep your eyes open and look for those cracks. And if anybody else has any ideas as to why I put a brand new magnetron in my microwave and my diode tests good, why it's not, heating up a cup of water. Alright, so we'll catch you soon.